What's up, guys? How y'all doing? This is D Darrell. I am happy to be here once again. So I'm going to talk about some things. And so I have been doing a lot of advocating for things against the manosphere, definitely advocate for Black women. Shout out to all the beautiful Black women in our country. Shout out to all the beautiful Black women in this space, particularly in the Black YouTube and also other sectors that I'm involved in, such as the Umar Johnson sector. But shout out to these women, all the Black women I'm talking about. My girl Bayou Bunny, shout out to her. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Mahogany. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Topaz. Shout out to the ladies in the Umar Johnson sector. Eyes, Carrie Ann, Nikki. Shout out to these ladies. LB. My opinion. QT1. Shout out to the ladies. Shout out to the ladies. Shout out to everybody. I'm doing this content today and I'm finding myself back on panels again. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've taken a break from panels. And the reason why I decided to take a break from panels is because of the BS you have to deal with when you're on panels. Now, over the last week, since I've been back from Hawaii, and right now, guys, I was in Lahaina, Hawaii. It's been decimated with wildfires. It looks horrible. And I was planning on going back to Hawaii next year. And I wasn't planning on going back to Maui or Lahaina, but I was going to Honolulu actually. But man, it's crazy, the wildfires that are in Hawaii right now. And shout out to the people there, the native people per se, beautiful people, nice people, peaceful people. I hope that they can get through that. So, as we're going to talk right now, I'm getting back on panels. Been back on several panels. Shout out to my boy Chaos Rain. Was on his panel, had a classic the other day. Bayou Bunny, I've been on her panel a couple of times, been interviewed. Classics. BMT, shout out to my brother BMT. Classics. And there are going to be other people that here and there I'm going to get back on panels. I'm going to be selective. And my plan is to showcase and review some of those interactions with the red pill advocates. Now, it's funny how people pretend that they don't know me, and then you find out they know me, which I knew all along. I got fans out there. There's a lot of hate watchers. A lot of hate watchers. So I found out Big Truck hate watcher. You know, Triple Black, hate watcher. You know, Sergeant Charles Faulkner and his minions, hate watchers. BGS, hate watcher. Tons of guys that hate, that know me, pretend that they don't know me when I get on the panel, and then once we have to go at each other, then you expose that you do know me. You know everything about my channel. You calling me trash. I will be creating a live stream this weekend, kind of highlighting some of the content that I have created on other people's platforms and reviewing my interaction with the red pill advocates, red pill simps, the name calling, telling me to quit policing they dick. Listen, I create content about Passport Brothers all the time. Austin Holloman or Holman, whatever his name is, now he wants to do African travel content, and now he talking shit about the Passport Brothers. Now he all of a sudden dating Afrocentric women, as long as they're not Western women of any race. If they're Eastern, not part of Western civilization, he I guess he get a hard on for that now, all of a sudden. Hey, more power to you. I know that you're probably being influenced by O'Shea because you're going to countries and doing things that you were not doing. But I'm on these panels, man, and I try my best, man. The black women that are on these panels, they can handle themselves. Let me say that first and foremost. I don't have to cape for any of the black women on any channel because they can handle their own business. Also, shout out to Femi from the chat. Shout out to her. We will hopefully we kind of communicated. Hopefully we'll be doing some content at some point. She hit me up. I'm also, looking at interviewing some more women from the space. I'm going to start interviewing women from the space on my dating channel. But it's funny how these men who claim that the community is dead, black women are the problem for every goddamn thing, but you constantly want to tell us how bad it is. But we don't need you to tell us what we already know to a certain extent. Because we don't feel the way you feel about the community. If you hate the community and you feel like your way out is to be with other women of other groups, more power to you. You don't have to shit on. Matter of fact, you don't have to mention the community at all. But then you want to program other men, young men, that you should follow suit and do what I'm doing. You want us to verify and produce literature and research to support why you're wrong, why you can't produce research to support why black men should be doing the things that you're doing across seas. Negroes getting mad at me because I am calling them out on their tricking ways. These are tricks. These are high-class tricks. These Negroes lie. Half of these Passport Brothers that go across seas can't afford to be out there that long. Half of these guys are on TikTok and other video and other platforms, stranded. Some of these guys have gotten robbed, damn near murdered, beaten up. See, nobody wants to talk about the ugly side of being a Passport Brother. And this shit is so funny, man. And brothers like Big Truck, like, who want to yell and holler, who wants to scream. And I'm going to go more in detail with this probably on Saturday and Sunday. And I gotta work on. I gotta do some things with my dollar store on Saturday, but probably later on that night I'll go live and do some content on this shit. But these guys, man, they're trying too hard. If black men find that it's in their best interest to date outside of their race and go into these countries thousands of miles away across the earth, they will do so. Most can't afford to do it. You know, you can go to Dominican Republic, you can go to Colombia, you can go to Mexico, you can go to the Philippines, you can go to anywhere in Southeast Asia, and the women there are waiting to fleece your ass. They're waiting. They can't wait. And oh yeah, by the way, particularly those that are using those apps, those international apps, Asian, dating interracial, Latin apps, they are waiting for you. They basically have programmed themselves. They have practiced and rehearsed how to make you think that they give a shit about you. And the few that do, this fake femininity, man. Like, look, I'm not saying all these women are fake, because I wholeheartedly think that it's very difficult to fake being feminine. You're either feminine or you're not. Now, are women who are feminine or so to speak, as far as their presentation, can they embellish and be a little bit more nicer than they want? But if you're not a feminine person, you're not a feminine person. If you're a masculine person, more masculine, you're going to be more masculine and less feminine. But these women culturally are feminine women. These women culturally are raised in two-parent households, many of them, and they learned to operate a certain way in a household, particularly one that's patriarchal driven. Even if it's not patriarchal driven, they still learn to operate because that's what their culture reinforces. You bringing your black ass there with your little American dollars that go a little further than what it would in the States, are prime for them to treat you, to me, what they consider average, and you consider that it's top-notch treatment. This is what you don't understand, is that what you're getting is not anything special. What you're getting is typical behavior, typical treatment that you claim you're not accustomed to in America. But the reason why you're not accustomed to that is because this is a different culture, and men and women don't operate in modern nations as they do in these second and third world countries. That's the reason. Most of these women are not educated. Most of these women, even though some of them are, but most of them are not. Most of them are not working full time. Most of them, don't have driver's licenses, and they're going to college and they're going to college in school, and they're trying to get, their retirement. They're not focused on things that women in America are more prone to focus on. These women here are less materialistic. It's because their countries are functioning in such a poverty level, they can't even imagine being materialistic. In America, the women are by far more materialistic. It's because the economy reinforces it. They can actually buy and want things that's accessible to them. You got street people buying shit off the street, eating shit, street food and all this other stuff, and clothing and fish and everything else that's fresh, that's out the street. We got supermarkets, we got malls, we got shopping centers. It's a whole different way of life. So yeah, she's cooking. She's cooking because it's economically appropriate for her to do that. Can't afford to go buy shit out. Even though there are black women, and many of them, who are domesticated and they know how to cook, they don't have time and they're too tired. So the social stratosphere is totally different, where these women are focusing on operating in ways that they have to survive. Surviving in Japan or China is totally different. And some of these other poor countries, or Polynesian islands and so on, it's totally different than you surviving in New York, Miami, Chicago, Houston. Totally different. It's a total different economic environment, totally different educational environment. These smaller countries that people love to go visit are tourists, particularly these tourist cities in which they have been groomed, trained to take your money. So I'm on panels trying to explain this to these loony Negroes who creating thumbnails about with them and their little Asian Stargate, their little Asian wives, and they're so proud and things of that sort. Or they have these little avatars and names of how, to represent them traveling abroad, going to Eastern European countries. That's the one thing that they have in common. They're not going to Germany getting these women. They're not going to England. They're not going to France. They're not going to Canada. They're going to the poorest of the poorest countries, doing what they're doing. To women who are all googly gaga over average benefits. And that's just a fact. If you're a simp in America, you're going to be a simp abroad. You're going to be a simp wherever you plan to go. I don't care if you go to Venezuela. I don't care if you go to Belize or wherever. You're going to be a simp in Costa Rica. and women are universally can identify as simp. And they are going to take your money. And yes, they will give up the ass real quick because they know that's what you want. And if you get it up quick, you're going to give up the money quick. So it's a trade-off. Which to me appears to be very common in these spaces of trade-off. You do this, I'll give you this, or I'll do that. There's not an organic means of creating a relationship because incels don't understand that. They don't understand how to capture a woman's heart, their imagination, how to get a woman to like you, love. It's about presenting certain variables. So then if you see these variables, these things that I possess, you automatically supposed to do certain things. There's no organic compatibility of I'm doing this because I just love your ass or I like you or I'm attracted to you. No, it's based on I show this, you do that. That's the equation. And relationships are not built that way. They're not. Relationships are built based on people understanding that either I fuck with you or I don't. And if I do fuck with you, this is what you're going to get. This is what I'm going to subconsciously do for you without thinking about it. See, femininity, when it's women in the true essence of femininity, they don't think about being feminine. They just are. They don't think about being submissive. They just naturally do it. You don't understand that because you can't naturally be masculine enough. You can't be smooth enough. You're not socially refined. You're not socially refined enough to behave and carry yourself in a way that women want to do these things for you. See, there's a difference between you having a woman that wants to make love to you versus a woman that just wants to have sex with you because she knows she's getting a certain amount of money from you. That's a difference. So you don't understand it. You're getting fake femininity. You're getting fake love. You're getting an embellished and inflated sense of self, an embellished form of femininity, in a sense that you're on top of the world. And at the end of the day, it's about dollars and cents. And if you go there broke, you ain't getting any. No woman there is going to sleep with you because they just like you. American women will sleep with you if they think you worth a damn, or they like you, or something about you that they gravitate to. A lot of women are willing to have sex with men that really financially ain't there, because the black community is full of men who getting a lot of ass and they broke as hell because they have a certain thing about themselves that women gravitate to. Now, it only lasts so far. It only lasts so far because once the novelty, leaves, and then this woman opens her eyes and realizes you ain't worth a damn, then she will begin to change. And this is what these Negroes complain about, because what happens is that in the result of that 2, 3, 4 months down the line, they realize that they tired of carrying your ass. They tired of you not trying to do anything with your goddamn self. And that's not the position that women want to be in. So I go in these panels and I make reference to this. I go in these panels again, 7 years of this shit, and explain some of the same things that I have argued with for years. I'm going to be honest. I began going on panels in 16. Not really 16, but actually 17, 18, mainly 18. And then I just started really, really doing stuff. 19, it kicked in. And then from really 19 to now, then I slowed down from doing, being on panels last year in 2022. I slowed down. I'm like, look, y'all niggas are just on fucking planet Mars right now. And this shit is not, I'm not willing to have these discussions that don't translate for real life. They're not relative to what's going on in real life. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about black men going their own way and dating and seeking other women, when actually black men are not marrying a lot of women interracially, and most black men are not traveling across seas. Most black men can't afford to do so. And a lot of them don't even have passports. So that's the reality. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with passport brothers and those who travel abroad about going to Cambodia and all these other little dingy ass countries, to get these women who are in desperate need of survival. So yes, if you're in desperate need of survival, yeah, you're going to give up that ass quick to somebody that got about $300 that's worth about $1,200 in that country. They living in villages with no running water, and you living in a nice hotel in the middle of the city, 20 miles away. Of course they're going to give up that ass to go get under that air conditioner and live a life short term that they're not able to live right now. Of course, they're going to continue to maintain a relationship with you. You sending them $200, $300, $400 a month. That's probably worth $1,000 to $1,500 in their economy, in their money, in their currency. Yes, they will. You're not fooling anybody. You're fooling yourself. You're lying to yourself. But the nastiness that these guys act towards black women, like every time, it's almost like they're allergic to having a cordial, intelligent conversation without yelling, screaming, hollering. And this is why you don't function well in relationships with women, because anytime a woman has an opinion or states her mind, you get mad and upset and triggered. And you get intimidated. And I hate to use this because most men are not intimidated by women, but it's almost like you're intimidated by intelligent women that have a mind, that have intelligence. So I just wanted to talk about my little experience. Been on a few panels over the past week, arguing with Negroes once again. Negroes pretending that they don't know me. They know D Darrell name. My name ring bells in this bitch. Not as much as you used to because I stopped fucking with some of you. But now since I have the D Darrell Live channel, and I do know that most of you are still watching D Darrell, the Rebirth channel, and I got D Darrell the Rebirth Live, and some just that's what most people know me by. I get it, and so there'll be times where when I'm doing sector content for the Umar Johnson sector, I may just use D Darrell Rebirth Live only for that. But when I do Manosphere Black YouTube content, I'm going to, particularly when I'm going live, I'm going to post that content live on both channels. That's where I'm planning to go. And appreciate you all for being here today. This is Coach D, or you call me the Black YouTube Therapist, Godfather D Darrell. Peace.